What's up, guys? This is Inhander from Fear Productions. First thing, you can probably tell that I'm in a different setting. It's in our apartment. I just got married, not just last month. Nice little decorations in the background. But anyway, I'm doing this video as a request came in from one of our viewers on the C39 AK video that I have, just overviewing what I had to do to get the Magpul furniture to work on it. I have it here with me. As you can see, it's completely field stripped. The Zhukov stock. A couple people have been wanting to know, because I mentioned that I had to do some heavy modifications to it to get it to fit on the C39. This is the V1. It will fit fine on the V2, to my understanding. So I'm going to show you how I attach the stock, and we'll go from there. Now I'll bring up a picture here right now, and it should be on the screen. You can see the back portion of the stock. That's where it would fit into the rifle normally. No cutting or anything like that required. So let's jump back here to what I had to do to it. Right off the bat, I'm going to take off this QD. Come off. There we go. The screw that's provided to go up here on the top, I had to change out. For some reason, the one that was provided just wasn't working, and thankfully I had a screw that fit it. But I also, none of this is the normal furniture. I had all this stuff just lying around in my workshop and was able to tack it all on here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to remove the stock and show you what all I did to the rear end of the stock here and how it all comes together. Okay, I'm back. I have the Zhukov stock off here. Something happened off camera. I had set my AK down to get something, and it fell. And when it fell, one of the screws that is on the top tang screw came out. So I realized I need to Loctite it down. I thought I did when I put everything together initially, but I guess I didn't. But this, where'd it go? We'll talk about that screw in a second. So here's the stock, okay? And this is the QD assembly and top tang screw that goes in when the stock is folded. Get it in here the way it's supposed to be. Magpul, if you're watching, I really hope you release a Zhukov stock for the Z39 or the C39A version 1. There's the QD. There is the rear part of the stock that would go into the rifle. You can see the metal piece of the QD right here, and it has a portion of it that goes to the top part of the stock where you would typically put a screw down there, but I'm only putting a screw in the rear tang section. So let me get it unlocked here. That piece will fall loose if you do this when you have the stock off the gun like I do. So you can see, I'll pop the picture back up here for a second, let you look at it, and now we're back to this. You can see I cut off a good portion of it for it to fit in the C39. I cut it off, did a little bit of measuring, cut it off, and then just a lot of grinding and sanding down to make everything nice and flush and not too bad. Thankfully, it's all polymer, so I was able to do that. But that was the most time-consuming part right there. And then, of course, I went and found this screw here is actually from a from a Tippmann paintball marker. They all use these type of screws, and I think this was one of the rear receiver screws from an A5 or a 98 Custom. Same thing with this this nut here, and it of course pairs up perfectly with the screw because they're both from a Tippmann marker. I had a Tippmann repair kit sitting around from the old days when I played paintball, and it fit in fine. Of course, just another washer. I grabbed all of these from my spare parts. Now, this little adapter piece and this little brass washer come with the Zhukov stock, and I'll explain where those go here in a second. Let me find the screw that fell down here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. Now, again, this is a screw that I had just in my machine screw bin, and I had to machine it down with a with my Dremel. Excuse me. I cut a good portion of it off and made it level, and that is what's going in the rear tang. And as I found out here a few moments ago, it needs to be Loctited down. But this screw goes into this small adapter here. So, that all being said, let me put everything the way it should be here. And I apologize if you hear some noise in the background. Our washer and dryer are literally 4 feet in that direction. But let me get everything back to where it should be here. Okay. No modifications were done to the rifle itself. This is all on the stock. So, as normal, you slide the tang in. And you notice how it does sit slightly higher than the rear of the receiver. At this point, slowly fold the stock to the side while holding the QD piece. And at this point, I'm going to put this screw into the rear section of the stock, if it'll cooperate. Screw in the washer, which I recommend to Loctite it down. I'm not going to, again, I thought I did, and I did fire the rifle like this and there was no problem. But to be on the safe side, Loctite it down. And there's a perfect spot for it. You'd see it. It fits the screw perfectly. Goes in right there, and you gotta make sure everything's lined up correctly. There. And it will come through, see it right there, come through the inside of the receiver. Doesn't affect anything on the inside of the gun. Put the nut on there, get your faithful Allen wrench. I think, as my Tippmann repair history is kind of hazy since I haven't worked on them in a while, but I think these are 1/8 inch Allen screws. I could be wrong though. And you just want to simply tighten that bad boy down. If I had my pliers here with me, or a small wrench, I'd stick it down in here and really wrench it down, but that should be good. And we're going to put this rear tang screw in. So, take the screw, the washer on it like so, run it down through. Sorry, I'm doing all this down here. It's a lot easier to do so. And of course, I don't have my the screwdriver out. Impromptu toolkit that I brought here with me. And there is a spot dedicated in the Zhukov stock for this little adapter piece. Okay. And that is in. So you can see there's the screw that I machined. The adapter piece is right there. It's going into that. And then you have the longer screw running through the inside of the gun. Locks. Good to go. Now you will note that doing it this way, the stock has a little decline in it. I think it's okay for me. It sits a little bit lower, allows me to see the iron sights a little bit better. When I put an optic on here, I'm going to get a primary arms micro dot, advanced micro dot to put up here. I should be able to see it perfectly. So that's how I did it. I know it was a lot of fancy to do and machining and everything, but at its core, it worked. It holds up fine. If Magpul makes a version for the C39 V1, will I buy it? Probably. Just because. Not that I don't trust my own work. I do. I've worked on plenty parts and guns themselves, and everything works fine. I'm not a gunsmith by any means, but it gets the job done, and that's how you do it. So if you have any other questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm always on YouTube doing something or watching gun, Dragon Ball game video, you know, whatever it is. But I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you guys for being patient with the lack of videos. The next video I should be able to do is my 1911 video. I have 3 1911s. I'm going to show you guys the different kind of differences between each of them and shoot a little bit. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.